let's go over some stuff. There were some people who didn't have a chance to make it to class today, so I'm going to do a review of the whole lesson. This is my type sample file, not my PDF, my InDesign file. I need this here for the last part of this. The other thing I'm going to need is a text file. So either the Metropolitan Opera or the BAM calendar text file. That is in Brightspace under week 13. So you'll need to download this. So just to do a review, I'm going to make a new document. I'll start from scratch. I am going to make sure that facing pages, it's over here, is turned off. And if you come up here, these are where the presets are. So I'll go print, tabloid. And as I mentioned in class, I'm working in Picus. I'm going to hit create. There's my page, my 11 by 17 poster page. I'm doing mine vertically. I'll go to layout, ruler guides, and I'll make my ruler guides, I'll do them brown, just anything but blue so I can see them. I'll go to layout, margins and columns. Now I'm going to do mine 3 picas. You could do it 1 pica, you could do it 2 picas. I would suggest 3 picas or more because you want that nice luxurious margin. And then finally I go to create guides. I'm going to do, and again, this is my grid. This is very personal. Maybe you want a different grid, but I will tell you that the more columns and rows you have, the more opportunities the grid will give you. And I'll do this. 1 pica 6 there are 12 points in a pica, so 12 plus 6 is 18. This is important. Want to fit to the margins, not the page. And if you're redoing a grid that you've already done, you click this to get rid of the existing ruler guide. Some of you asked me this in class. I completely forgot about this little button. I apologize. So I'll hit preview. There's my grid. Want to make sure this number and this number are the same number, and you hit OK. And we are ready to begin. So I'll begin with a text box. I'm going to take my text tool. By the way, I've made my toolbar a double. I keep clicking on these little double arrows. I've made this a 2-column toolbar because that's how I roll. So I've drawn myself a text box. You can see it takes up 2 columns. I am going to click inside of it to activate it. See the cursor? We call that the flashing I-beam. I go to File, I go to Place, and I'll begin with, let's see, desktop, let's see, where is it? I'll begin with the Metropolitan Opera, okay? And I'll hit open. So this is the text file. I'm going to come over here and go into preview mode so we can see what's going on. Now, I think you can see it's cut off here. If I go back into normal mode, do you see this little red plus sign? The little red plus sign is InDesign saying to me, there's text cut off. There's more text than there is text box. So I'm going to click right on it. Come here. There we go. So you see that took me a minute? It takes a minute. I'm clicking on it, and do you see the text in my cursor? That's the extra text. I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to marquee another box. And you can see, right, that it's filling up with text. I'll do it again. Click, pull, and you can kind of feel the text box snapping in. Now, I've reached the end. There's no more text. Before I go any further, I'm going to go up to type, and I'm going to say, show the hidden characters. Because I want to see the extra hard returns, all those extra pilcrows. But I can see now the hidden punctuation. So these are my text boxes. This is called threading a text box. These are threaded text boxes. And what that means is if I pull down on this text box, you can see the text flow in from one text box to another. If I window shade this up, you can see the text flow in from side to side. It's almost like water. Now, if I want to push Madame Butterfly, let me get in so you can see this. If I want to push Madame Butterfly to the top of the next column, which I should do, you shouldn't break something like this if you don't have to. I can do that. So now Madame Butterfly is here. If I want Akhenaten to be at the top of this column, then I'll do this. All right? Now, this part of the text, the Metropolitan Opera, highlights of the Winter Collection, and this intro text, I'm going to set that differently than I set the entries. We talked about hierarchy. We'll talk about that more. I'm going to grab all of this and I'm going to cut it out of the threaded text box. Cut. Now it's in the clipboard. I'll pull this text box down. I'll get my text tool. I'll marquee a box all the way across and I'll hit paste. Because this is going to be, I'm going to make this heroic. Metropolitan Opera is going to dominate the page. And this is going to be large too. And this is going to be large. This is the headline. This is the subhead. This is the intro copy. So I'm going to take out some of these extra hard returns. Oops. And so this is a threaded text box. This is what a threaded text box looks like. I'm going to show you now a different way to do a text box. If I go to Pages, whoops, hang on, document setup, facing pages off. I'm going to go to Pages. I'm going to duplicate this. I can do that by doing that, or I can come up here and say duplicate the spread. Either way gets you the same thing. But this page is a perfect copy of this first page. They're exactly alike. So I'm going to come to this second page and I'm going to delete this text box and I'm going to delete this text box. So now I've still got this one text box and you can see it's saying overflow, be careful. I'm going to pull this text box over. Now this is not good design. This is not a poster. This is unreadable. You can't really, I gotta go all the way over and all the way back. This is not how you want to set text. You want narrow columns for maximum readability. But there's another way to do this. If I come up to the top, I'm going to point out to you that my workspace is Essentials Classic. I'm going to come up to the top and this is the columns. So 2, 3. Now, this is the gutter, the space between the columns. And if I turn the grid back on, I think you can see that my text box doesn't match my background grid. Can you see that line? This number needs to match the number that I used when I created my guides. So if the guides that I created were 1 pica 6, and they were, you might want to jot that number down when you create your guides, then this needs to be 1 pica 6. So now I have 3 columns at 1 pica 6, and I think you can see that the text box perfectly matches the columns. And if I move back out, so this is a single text box containing 3 columns. Now this time around, it's not going to work to window shade, right? Because if I wanted, for example, if I want this column to be this long, but I want if I wanted Puccini's La Boheme to move up there, it's going to be more difficult. See what bad breaks I'm getting? Because everything's moving in lockstep as I pull this up. So I can do something else. I can come to, let's say I wanted to push German to the top of the next column. If I come to the type menu and I say insert a break character, I'm going to insert a column break. Watch, I'll do it again. I want French at the top of this column. So I'm going to go type, insert break character, column break. And then the last thing I'll do, this is the call to action. So I probably want this at the bottom of the page or somewhere else. I'm not suggesting you have to put it at the bottom of the page. But I'm going to grab it. I think I'll put it here because Design Flow tells me that this is the last place that people will look. So I think I'll put it here as they leave the page. Okay, so that's 2 different ways to do text boxes. This one is a single text box that's divided into 3. And these are many text boxes, 3 separate text boxes. And each one is threaded to the other one. So as I pull, you can see the text flowing from one box to the other. And this is not threaded. If I push that up, you see I get the little plus sign that says, hey, you're missing text. I want this separate from the rest of this copy. This is, we'll call this entry copy and we'll call this header copy. So because I want them separate, like here, I want this separate. This is not about the operas. So I'm going to grab it, cut it, bring it down here, paste it. And if I go into normal mode, I can go in and get rid of these extra hard returns that are sitting here. In the next video, I'll show you how to apply your paragraph styles. Okay.